Victory Monday.
Who wouldn't be happy with the win? Serge, one of my TAs actually for my history class, huge Jets fan. You would love him. So
Valid.
he's always wearing Jets stuff,
Valid.
and I was talking to him today. He had a smile on his face, to say the least, for the Jets. But welcome back, everybody, to the Back Pocket Podcast, coming to you on this lovely Monday night post Week 5 NFL season. We hope you guys have enjoying our weekly Tuesday episodes. We will keep pumping them out. And welcome into the Week 5 NFL recap. We will also be doing our Week 6 picks. We have several topics for you guys today. We have the Chicago Bears and how they finally have won a game, talking Patriots' embarrassing loss to the New Orleans Saints, talking about my beloved New York Giants and really what has happened to them, talking about, do the Jets have some hope, where we bring up the energy in the podcast, talking about the Niners and Cowboys game to finish off the episode. And then obviously we will officially finish off with our Week 6 predictions. My name is Keith McDermott. Let me introduce our lovely co-host before we get into it, Dylan Shalom. Dylan, how are you tonight?
I've been great. I'm excited to talk ball.
Serge Canali, always the last
Yep.
one. The neglected child, how are you?
I know we not going with that today, but yeah, I've been good. Happy with the dub.
Neglected
Finally celebrating
child.
Victory Monday.
The Chicago Bears, obviously, been a touchy subject, to say the least, on our first episode, just because we have been very either anti-Justin Fields, anti-Eberflus, and the Bears front office, but obviously get a big win away from home. DJ Moore has a bomb of a game. Justin Fields has a fantastic game. The defense doesn't have an absolute horrible game. And I want to ask you the simple question. And again, I'm not going to answer this myself, but I think looking at that performance, there was a Bears team that we have not seen. Dylan, I'll go to you first. Does this change anything you either think about Justin Fields, you either think about Matt Eberflus in that front office, or just as the Bears as a whole? Does this change your opinion on Chicago in this season?
It changes a little bit about Fields for me because I've come into the season, I've kind of just been saying Fields can't throw. He has to learn how to throw. He hasn't done anything impressive with his arm yet. And there were some really good throws in that game that I was impressed by. DJ Moore had a great game. 8 catches, 230 yards is phenomenal. Eberflus, nothing changes because regardless of the 40 points they put up, the game plan was still weird. Fields had under 30 throws. It was 15 completed passes. Fields ran the ball 11 times, 57 yards. So the ground game wasn't working. Khalil Herbert got hurt. They had Roschon Johnson only got 3 carries. There's just a lot of weird stuff going on. Blasingame had 8 carries, and that's a fullback. So it was just a lot of weird Eberflus-like mistakes. Yeah. I'm not going to say mistakes because they won the game, and they deserve credit for that, but just oddities to the way he calls the game. So Fields did play well. I'm not going to jump ship yet because it's one game against a weak team. So I'm not going to go full saddle Justin Fields defender, but he had a great game.
I think for the Bears, it's a win's a win. No matter how they could have had freaking a receiver at quarterback. A win's a win. The Bears were in the trenches, to say the least. What was it? They hadn't won a game in 14 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So big win. Serge, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this was a really important game for Justin Fields and the Bears because obviously he had that good game against last week against the Broncos, albeit they lost. And they need, kind of as a young quarterback, especially one who struggled early in the season, for him to stack days, and he was able to do that. I think it was never really a question for me if Justin Fields could actually throw the ball, because I think as a prospect, we all knew he had a great arm, was great at that, but rather could he really be decisive? Can he see the field? He was able to do. He made it a bit simpler by targeting one of the best receivers in the league in DJ Moore, and that really worked out well. I think Fields wasn't as good as he was last week, but obviously they won, and it was much more of a team performance. I think a lot of it was inspired by the sad passing of Dick Butkus before the game, where obviously I think that definitely inspired Chicago going into that one. And I think they really played definitely not a team that had lost their last 14 games. They played inspired, and they played like a team that isn't actually tanking for Caleb Williams. And although it probably is too late in the season already to make a playoff push, it'd be very tough for them to turn it around. I still think definitely promising signs that maybe Justin Fields can still be that guy in Chicago.
Yeah, and I think for me, what definitely stood out about that game, and you guys, nailed it right on the head there is the maturity from Justin Fields. And I wouldn't say I think it's definitely a both way type of thing where, as I've said over and over again, we talk about the Bears, is that the coaching staff has put Fields in positions where it's like, you need to go win us the game, and he has not been given the tools to be able to do that yet. He's not a Lamar Jackson, he's not a Patrick Mahomes, he's not one of those elite guys who can win them the game. But I think, and what I said, last week was, he's a guy who just held the ball too long. He wasn't really good at reading the field, and I think that was not the Justin Fields we saw at all last night, on Thursday night. Very, very good, methodical, getting the ball to, like you said, Surge. Although crazy take saying DJ Moore is one of the best in the league.
No, he is.
Can
Definitely
he can be, but
he's top 10. When I say that, I mean like
top 10. I can
Top
name
10, no way.
I think I can name 20 receivers better than DJ.
I'm not gonna say 20. I'm gonna say 15,
15.
16, like anywhere in that range. Top 10.
Surge, he would be top 15, and he would be like 15 probably.
Yeah.
Top 10 is insane. Top 10 is insane. Listen up. This will be a great segment. List your top 10 receivers. I know DJ Moore is not getting in that list.
All right, okay. So maybe he isn't. Let me see.
No.
No. He might be.
No, we did this yesterday,
say,
Serge. Let's go through the divisions, see who you got. Because let's go start with the AFC.
Right. I'd say Tyreek, Waddle, Diggs, Garrett. That's 4
in one
But
division.
the AFC East is the best division in my opinion for wide receivers. No one on the Chiefs.
Go on.
No
Next.
What?
Oh, you're going to that division. Okay.
Yeah. No one on the Chargers. Devontae is 5.
You wouldn't put Keenan Allen?
No.
I would put Keenan.
I think Keenan's good. He's a good player, but not as good as DJ Moore. Steelers, no. Ravens, no. Browns, close. I think DJ barely over Amari. Jamar I'd take over him. That's 6. No one on the Jags. No one over him. What?
T. Higgins, I'm taking over him.
No, not T.
I'm taking T. Higgins over
him. T. Higgins has been way too inconsistent this year, and he's a great.
I'm fine with putting DJ over T. Higgins.
I'm okay. That's arguable. I'm taking T. Higgins. I would at this point probably take George Pickens. I would probably
Pickens, no way. I mean, I like Pickens, but
Zay Flowers.
I'm taking Amari over him. I'm taking Keenan Allen over him. Those are the two that I was.
All right, I think the DJ Moore disrespect is getting a bit crazy here. He was a great receiver in Carolina.
Yeah, in Carolina, he's not in Carolina anymore.
But that's not even true.
He wasn't that good in Carolina. He never had a top. He never had a top 20 statistical season in Carolina.
He has 531 receiving yards. I think he's definitely like among the best in receiving yards for the Bears right now. I would say, like 531 in 5 games. So he's averaging over 100 yards per game. That's got to be.
He's not getting 100 yards.
Well, let's go on. I want to keep hearing you say the receivers though.
Well, I'd say that's 6.
Yep.
Name your top 10. I want to hear the top 10.
Well, I already told you 6 of the receivers.
So just go through your top 10. Do it again.
Well, okay, fine. I said Hill, Waddle, Diggs, Garrett Wilson,
Devontae,
Jamar Chase,
Devontae
Adams, 6. I'd take AJ Brown,
Devontae Smith.
I don't know.
Yes.
No.
Terry McLaurin.
This is a lot of it is getting really overshadowed by the fact that DJ Moore has not had a great quarterback in the way that a lot of these other guys have had great quarterbacks.
Does the quarterback make the receiver? Or does the receiver make the quarterback? Because it can't go both.
I mean, I think having a very good to elite quarterback definitely has an impact on how good a receiver is.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's both ways.
I'd say that's 7. I'd take Debo as a wide receiver doesn't clear, but overall as a weapon, he's better.
Ayuk too. CD Lamb also.
Ayuk, no.
Yes.
Ayuk is good, but he look at his stats compared to DJ.
But you're also taking into effect that Ayuk is probably the 4th or 5th option on that offense, and he's that good.
I'm taking Naku.
No, I agree he's that good, but DJ Moore, I think, again, I just think DJ Moore is better.
I'm making an argument that I hate right now, but if you stick DJ Moore in San Francisco, I don't think his output's better than Brandon Ayuk's.
I disagree.
I think I'm taking Puka Naku over him. Obviously, Cooper Kupp.
I think that
Justin Jefferson.
CD
Lamb.
I wouldn't take CD.
I'm a CD hater, but that's crazy.
That's insane.
That's not even insane.
Yes,
that is. That's pretty insane.
That's pretty insane.
I don't like that at all.
That's
It's
not
like,
good.
are we?
I feel like we're not being hostile
DJ
enough,
isn't an
Ian. I feel like we're
unproven?
kind
I
of
know,
just letting this slide.
No,
Are we
because
just
this isn't
acting like
this isn't like
DJ
Charlie
Moore
who
is
says like
literally
something that's like
DJ
actually
Moore
the most
literally
insane
put up
thing.
1,000 yards 3 years in a row. He's already over halfway to 1,000 yards this year. I don't
Okay,
see how this is a crazy take.
because Dylan, I don't like wholeheartedly disagree. I think Surge has points.
No, there is no, you're right. There is an argument,
I
but
actually did not know he had 500 yards, so that kind of.
I mean, he had 230 in this game.
Yeah, so
But
yeah,
take that how you want. But like that's an insane game. So
against Kendall Fuller, who's not a bad corner. Kendall Fuller's obviously he's had better days, but Kendall Fuller's very much a cornerback one. I mean, I guess maybe not anymore, but like
I think he was playing Emmanuel Forbes though. I think he was
Forbes is Forbes, yeah,
right
maybe right, yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on now to, man, I think a topic we'll all kind of agree on, and we talked about this, and I just posted the clip of the Patriots and kind of just, I mean, they have taken a absolute like plummet. You look at the game against the Saints, and I was saying this, it was an embarrassment. I think that the Patriots need to blow everything up. I think you need to let go of Belichick. I think you need to let go of O'Brien. I think you guys also know they don't have a defensive coordinator.
yeah.
They haven't had one since 2017. They let a defensive assistant call their plays, which kind of makes sense. I mean, I think they need to blow it up. They're lacking so much on offense. They don't have receivers. Something I saw Julian Edelman talking about that I think now makes so much sense is like, why did they let go of Jacoby Myers? Makes a ton of sense. A guy who actually could create some separation. I mean, they look like a train wreck. And we talked about kind of the idea of Belichick leaving. I think now there is some, I mean, they're in contention to be the first overall pick in the draft. Unfortunately, I don't think Mac Jones is it. I was saying that when he came out of Alabama. I don't understand why a guy like him went 15th overall when he's not better than Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott, who he's similar to, and they went third, fourth rounds. He looked like in this game, he looked disinterested. He looked sloppy. He's slow. He's immobile. And he looks like Mac Jones in this game looked like a kid who was playing a sport they're just not good at. That they're just not good at it. And it's like, oh my God, this kid is playing and like, why is he playing? I mean, that pick six, like Mac Jones has been trying things that he knows he's not good at. He's trying to scramble and make plays and extend plays when he's just not that kind of quarterback. And you guys all know that. I mean, you look at that pick six he threw to Tyrann Mathieu where it's like, take the sack. He could have got out of it and he just runs into pressure, throws a pick six, and like sells them the game. The pitch he had back to Ramondre Stevenson, that was just like blatant. Just what are you doing? Like blatant, just like, how did you mess that up? Something that they probably, practice over and over again. And that's not even it. I mean, they couldn't tackle, they couldn't cover, they could not get pressure. It is a absolute train wreck in New England, and I say if I'm a New England fan, blow it up. Maybe get Caleb Williams. I mean, they are in absolute shambles. But I'll kind of pass it to you guys.
Yeah, it's almost hard to believe, as like I think Dylan can agree with the sentiment too. After years of the Patriots just lording over the AFC East especially, that now they just look not even like a shell of themselves, because that'd be too much of a compliment for them. They just look awful, like horrific. And I think the Christian Gonzalez being out for the season was just the final nail in the coffin there, because now that's their best defense. That was their best, maybe Judon, but definitely one of their best defensive players. And Arley was already becoming one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And now they don't have anything to be inspired by for this year. I mean, individually and obviously collectively as a team, getting just absolutely routed by the New Orleans Saints, who like aren't a terrible team, but they're like pretty average. Not
and
a team
in Foxborough.
You shouldn't be. It was just it was hard to believe, but at the same time, like you said, Mac Jones. I know Mac Jones is getting a lot of hate like the past few years. I thought last year, I think maybe I thought he still could have been salvaged with maybe an actual offensive play caller, because obviously I think the supporting cast last year did him no favors, but this year it's just been a comedy of errors. And I get he still doesn't have great weapons, doesn't even have a great line. Running game hasn't been normally as up to standard for the Patriots, but at the same time, he hasn't been helping his case at all. And it's just the problem is he is literally the definition of a system quarterback, and the system around him is awful. So he just looks lost. He looks completely lost. And I think there's still I think maybe he could still salvage him as a high-end backup, but at this point, he just does not look
Yeah.
the part at all. And I don't see it really getting better for New England. As for the tank, I think Belichick, he's a winner. I think they'll still find a way to win a few games somehow with like some sort of, I don't know, fluky Patriot wins, but I don't think they'll get Caleb. I think I could see them getting Drake May though. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm more just in shock, honestly, about how bad they are this year.
But it's
I
like
mean, that's what's
it was just a quick turn. Like they weren't bad week 1.
Mhm.
It was like these past 2 weeks has been like, what am I watching?
Yeah, week one, they actually, no, the first two, I
Yeah.
mean, week one also can be a bit deceiving, but week one, they barely lost to the Eagles, who are one of the best teams in the league. Week two, they barely lost to the Dolphins, another, again, one of the best teams in the league. Week three, they beat the Jets, not one of the best teams in the league, but they won. And now they've just completely fallen apart, getting routed by Dallas. And now this last week, which like Dallas, I know they lost this week by a lot, but they're still a really good team, I think, at least in my opinion. And then New Orleans, though, I just, especially at home, it's just inexcusable. And it just doesn't seem like there's any sense of direction for New England right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen when you lose your best player on defense. You lose your second
Obviously.
best player on defense. You're going to have a lot of defensive faults. But I want to really focus on Mac Jones because I've been a Mac Jones, I'm not going to say truther, but I've been on his side for a lot of issues because he had Matt Patricia. He had a good rookie season. There was a lot of good there. But we talked about it last week. He's just not likable. He's just like, he seems like a spoiled little kid in an organization that he's supposed to run. And he's like telling people what to do, but he's just not that good. So no one's actually listening to him. So now he's just the guy he's like, it's like a toddler giving orders. And I don't want to play the same string of the guitar and just ramble on Mac Jones hate for his footballing ability because we've seen him play some good games in the past. Like last season against the Vikings, he had a really, really good game. And it made us think, you know what? The Patriots have something here. But when he's playing a bad game, he almost enters like a temper tantrum zone where he's just not listening to play calls. He's trying to play out of rhythm. He's throwing the ball into the ground. It's like he's not mature enough to play professional sports. And I know I'm the journalist here. I'm just the person talking behind a screen. I know Mac Jones isn't even going to see this, so I don't really care. But like, what is there like no standard of professionalism for a guy who's just obviously not adequate and mature enough to run your offense? Like, I know Zappy's the backup, but like, wouldn't Case Keenum be a better alternative at this point? Or
At this
Carson
point, though,
Wentz?
why try
Or
for that when the season's already
because
lost?
Mac Jones, he's just like a baby. Like,
Yeah,
it's not even from a football perspective. He's just like not a good guy. And you like
yeah, and I think that's a very valid thing to say because it's like you get this far, and again, I'm the same with the Patriots. I feel like Bill Belichick would crack down on this in a second and be like, "What do you like? You will not play if you act like this." It's a level of professionalism that you just don't expect from a guy like Mac Jones who doesn't seem like that at all. And it's just the kind of thing for me where it's like if I'm, I think they go to Kraft and they're like, "Look, we need a quarterback. Like we need to draft a quarterback." I think they're going to get down to that. I don't see how Mac Jones will turn this train around. And that'll segue us very well into our next topic. And I'm not sure if you guys saw, and then again, this is about the New York Giants and obviously the big loss that they had to the Miami Dolphins. I'm not sure if you guys saw the clip of I believe it was a radio station in New York. It was an older guy, white hair, just rambling about Evan Neal.
it was the WFAN clip.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Again, was he a little over the top and very aggressive? Yes. Do I understand it? 100%.
Yeah,
I think it just takes it really takes a certain level of person to say that when literally Evan Neal, you are a guy who is 6'7", 300 plus, went to the best college, has been playing football your whole life, and you suck. Like you suck at football. You are not a good football player at this moment. And you have the audacity to go out and say that to fans that literally pay for your salary that is now overpaid. You do not deserve that. I would have to side with him. And a lot of the comments were like, "Oh my God, this guy's taking it out of hand." Like, no, he's not. Like it's you can't speak to people like that. Like I know that you're on this pedestal, and again, it wouldn't matter if it's Patrick Mahomes saying it or if it's Evan Neal, blah blah blah. Just because they're all professionals, you can't speak like that. But it's even worse when an actual dog shit player like him is speaking like that. And I'm a Giants fan. I love the Evan Neal pick. I thought he was a fantastic player, and I hope he turns into one. But I mean, if they cut him, I would be like, I'd put my hands up and be like, yeah, you kind of deserve that. Again, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I think it plays into a little of just how badly the Giants have been for a team that was winning playoff games last year. So again, I digress, but I think the
Yeah.
immaturity there, and I think there's an immaturity across the team, and I think that kind of personality trait and that kind of attitude spreads throughout a team, whether you do that purposely or not.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, going back to literally the same point with Mac Jones, it's about professionalism. And it's funny because both these guys go to like a program like Alabama, which is literally meant
Saban
to,
drilling you. Like,
yeah, drilling you to be a professional NFL player. And it's where a lot of great NFL players have gone to. But these two guys just don't seem to get it. And I think Evan Neal even further than Mac Jones, because again, I mean, exact same. I completely agree with you, Kean. I mean, you just can't say that about the fans, and it's like, and obviously, I mean, as a professional, probably shouldn't say that ever, but especially for
Also, it's
someone,
his own fans.
he has to. There has to be like, yeah, but it's also the fact that you have to have self-awareness. Like, you have to understand that. I mean, obviously, playing in New York isn't easy. There's a ton of players that have fallen like I've gotten killed by the media, like Zach Wilson, for example, probably has gotten a lot worse than Evan Neal. But at the end of the day, he didn't attack the fans. We've seen a bunch of other guys get attacked in the New York media who haven't said anything. And I understand that it sucks. And obviously, especially at such a young age, it's gotta be definitely crushing. But at the same time, it's just something you don't say. Like, it's about like calling people sheep, calling them burger flippers, which you don't even like, calling them hot dog flippers, which you don't even flip hot dogs, doesn't even make sense. Like,
I can't lie.
it,
That was the first thing I thought about when I saw hot
yeah.
dog flippers. I was
I
like,
mean,
do you
I
know how to
mean,
grill, bro? Like,
it just like it. I mean, and that
He
statement
definitely
like
does. You see
basically
the
sums it
size of
up.
him?
It's just a lack of maturity on his point. And I know we're supposed to be talking about the actual game, so I won't further
I'm gonna start
dig
talking
at
about
Evan
Evan Neal
Neal,
real
but
quick,
that's
though.
just I agree with you there. That is a crazy, even as a Jets fan, that like that's just you. That's just a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, Evan Neal. I don't think he's a bad football player. All comes to all. He's had a bad start to his career. He was so good in college. He will figure it out. But there is no excuse to playing as badly as he had this season and then going on open air and just letting the fans hear it. Like, what's the thought process? Also, people are throwing M&Ms at my door right now. I don't know why. But yeah, I can't understand how you can be playing terribly and be thinking about the fans. Like, think about how badly you're playing. Emmanuel Ogba literally walked past him in the game this weekend. It was like a light jog. Evan Neal comes in and double blocks Raekwon Davis, and Ogba just walks by and sacks Daniel Jones. I'm watching that play, and I'm like, oh, that was good by Ogba. He got by Evan Neal. And I watched the replay, and Evan Neal's just like on the ground doing nothing. So it's just like he's playing terribly and he's focusing on the wrong stuff.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's as a Giants fan, and it gave me some energy, or it gave me kind of a breath of fresh air watching that guy speak. It's like it's and again, I said it's not any different if a good player were to say it, but it's the fact that you
It
are
is different,
playing.
though.
It is. It's not though. It's not, because you can't say that. It's not different.
No,
It makes it just more embarrassing for yourself that you actually suck at the sport you're getting played, and then you go say that when he will probably be flipping burgers in 2 years. I mean, if he plays like he is, that's probably where he'll be.
Yeah.
Because sorry, I was about to, yeah.
I do hope he succeeds, though. I don't want to.
I really hope he does. He has all the traits. He has the size too, but it's just it takes a little bit part of me. And again, let's talk about now the Giants and kind of what went wrong. But it's just the kind of thing where it's like you look at it's those little things that proves why the Giants are playing as badly as they are. But speaking of that, obviously, I mean, arguably we're the worst team in the NFL right now. I would say it's probably the pay. You know, we're down there. We're 25 and below, definitely. I I want to touch on this first. Do we think Daniel Jones is part of the problem right now or part of the solution?
I think he's neither. I think honestly,
That's a weak answer. You got to
That's a
pick
weak
one.
answer. You got to pick one.
but it's the truth. I'm sorry. I mean, when you look,
If you had to
I think
choose.
the problem is that people try and make it that he's either the problem or he's the solution.
He's the
Daniel Jones,
quarterback.
I mean, I think no. Okay, if you want to answer, he is a problem. He is.
Okay.
I think
There you
he
go.
is a problem, and it is a big problem that they're paying him 40 million. But I think there are very few QBs who can make it work with that offensive line, with the lack of weapons. And well, those two things mainly. I think it's the coaching really is fine. I think it's being that part is being over exaggerated, but again, a horrible offensive roster overall. But at the same time, Daniel Jones is just a quarterback that he has decent traits, good running ability. He has a solid arm, but at the same time, he just doesn't throw the ball deep. He's very confined. Like he's only comfortable operating in Dable's system. Like he's not really someone that I think will win you games. And I think he's not even someone that I think will do enough always to not lose you games. And I think that is a quarterback that you can't be paying 40 million a year to. And I think again, if the Giants are in that 1 or 2 spot, I think they definitely take a quarterback there, despite again, they have a lot of issues, again, namely on the offensive line. But yeah, that's what I'd say about the Giants. And I think it's going to be definitely a race to the bottom for them this year.
I kind of disagree. I mean, are we just going to pretend that the Giants haven't played against 4 really, really good teams? Like,
No, I know, but
San Fran,
No, I agree,
Miami.
but not for really. But I think the defenses haven't been necessarily elite.
No, there are definitely problems, but this team won, 11 games last season, and they've played some really good teams. Obviously, it's a bit of regression. I'm not going to deny that.
Saquon won 11 games.
Saquon has been hurt all year. I think they have what it takes to figure it out. I just think their schedule is really tough this season. They'll win 6-7 games. I don't think they even restart. I think they keep it going as it is. Daniel Jones, Brian Dable, etc. I know the New York media is crazy. I know they're going to have to try to appease the fans, but realistically, restarting is not the right move because there is something here.
I don't think restarting is there, but it's just the kind of thing where it's like, if you have a top 5 pick, there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this class. Like there's a lot. There's five good quarterbacks in this class. So for me, it's just tough. And again, I love Daniel Jones. And Suraj, I will say for the stick we gave you for not giving a straight answer, I think you did, kind of break it down very well, because I think if I were to answer it, I would probably say the same thing. But it's just the kind of thing where it's like, okay, he might not be a part of the problem, but he's not part of the solution, and you need a quarterback who's part of the solution. That kind of was, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
I think, I think at the end of the day, I would rather, as a Giants fan, be in that Dylan talk about if that they can figure it out. I don't think they can, but at the same time, I don't even know if I would want that. I don't think they need to fully restart. Like they need to trade everyone. Definitely not get rid of the coaches, especially not Dable, obviously. But I do think they need kind of a semi reboot with guys like, I think, Daniel Jones, who I think if the goal for the Giants is to win a Super Bowl, which it should be, I think
not the guy.
He's not the guy to win a Super Bowl. And I think even with a great roster, he's not even at the level of Kirk Cousins or Brock Purdy, where if you put everything around them.
Yeah. I will haul you on that. I think he could be. I think actually, and here's, as a Giants fan, here's where I've kind of, I'll state my reasons for why. One, I think not having Saquon is proven for us. We lose more games we don't have.
No, obviously.
So Saquon, once he comes back, I think will be huge for us, obviously, just because of how much production he brings to this offense. We are constantly giving up big chunk plays, and that as a Giants fan has been our Achilles heel forever.
One high safety, one cornerback, Tyreek Hill.
What was Trey Hawkins?
What was that?
And I don't understand, Dylan, because it's not only the Giants. That has happened with Tyreek Hill so many times this season.
It's just because Miami has so much going for them. But
exactly.
Either way, you have to know that that's the worst possible option you can have, regardless of what HN and Mostert and Waddle are doing. That's just that's suicide. So
constantly giving up big plays. I think we have consistently been unable to read on defense slightly trick-ish plays, like Dylan, for example, the double pitch you guys did, which Achane got that huge hole. I don't think our defense is athletic enough, honestly. I don't think we're able to stretch the field enough and get side to side enough, which is funny enough because Isaiah Simmons, you saw coming out of Clemson, one of the most athletic linebackers you've ever seen. I don't think we've been creating enough pressure for the amount of talent we have on the defensive line, which is arguably our most talented position group, or, maybe the front seven as a whole. The offensive line to me has just, you guys talk about it. Well, first of all, John Michael Schmitz, who was supposed to be like, I was saying, like, nailed on, he will be a good player. Like, he will be a good center. He has not been good. You look at, Chris Wilkins, or not Chris
Did he
Wilkins.
get injured?
He was hurt on the tush push, yeah.
Yeah. But Wilkins was just eating on our offensive line all day. Finally, Dylan, because you were
about time.
Yeah, about time. We need receivers. We still need receivers. We need 2 more receivers. I always knew Giants fans were so excited when we got Darren Waller and we got Paris Campbell. We need a wide receiver one. We need another Odell Beckham, unfortunately. And maybe that's Jalen Hyatt. I don't think that is. I think Jalen Hyatt's more of a complimentary receiver. We need a wide receiver one. That needs to be addressed in this year's draft or in free agency. That is, for me as a Giants fan, non-negotiable. I think we 100% need that. But again, I think it, and Dylan, I think you said it right. I think it might be just the kind of season where it's like, look, the schedule is super hard. But again, even as a Giants fan, I don't like that excuse because we won a playoff game.
It's not a good excuse for a team that was this good last season. Obviously, stuff has gone wrong, and there's stuff that needs to be addressed. You need a receiver. You need to fix the O-line. Injuries have been
how
a
long
problem.
have we needed to fix the O-line? Like, I don't understand.
But it was on its way to being fixed. Andrew Thomas was a top, potentially 2 offensive tackle last season. John Michael Schmitz, I still think, is a good move in the long run. Lemieux had some good games last year, but like, there can't always be 2 holes in the line. Like, one hole is excusable because there's a lot of positions you have to fill, but 2 holes or more, you're not going to be able to compete. So that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with the Giants. It's just, we need to figure it out because, like I said, if we have a top 5 pick this year and Drake May's there, Michael Penix is there, Shadir Sanders commits, I just find it hard. Again, the only reason that we would be hesitant is obviously because of the money we gave Daniel Jones. But yeah, for the Giants, we're going down a dead end a little bit here. So I hope it gets figured out. But yeah, but Dylan, even that, like, we could have beat, like, you watch a game, like, we were definitely in that game. We definitely could have won that game. We had that good pick 6. We had 2 picks. We had the fumble recovery. Like, we were definitely there.
Well, it was a game of mistakes for Miami for sure. It definitely wasn't Miami's best played game. You caught us on a bad day, but that being said, the explosive plays killed you. Achane long touchdown, Tyreek Hill long touchdown, Tyreek Hill 65-yard screen pass. It's just like the middle of the field tackling wasn't there for you guys. Obviously Miami just have that speed in them that no team can be ready for. There's going to be explosive plays against whoever you play. But I thought you quarterback planned well. I think you played a good defensive game against Tua. You took the middle of the field away for the majority of the game, and it didn't really work just because our offense is too good.
They say when you take the middle of the field away from Tua, he cannot throw the ball.
Yeah, say that to his 300-yard performance. But yeah.
Yeah, that's just because he had one chunk play.
300 yards is 300 yards. And it's been a consistent 300 yards every game this season. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's
because he's kind of a turnover machine.
It's literally, yeah, he is a turnover machine.
Okay.
Right. It's literally because his receivers, Dylan. That's right.
I love my receivers. But it was a good game from the Giants game plan wise defensively. It's just you don't have the personnel to get it done. Miami is obviously high power, but you play the Bills next week and the same thing's going to happen. And the over exaggerations are going to come right away. It's going to be end all this because it's been 3 games in a row where you played against really good teams. And
Jesus, when is it going to end? Oh my God.
It's going to keep coming.
I think after that it gets lighter.
Yeah, but you have this game and you just know the media after this game, it's going to be the Giants are done. You have to fix it. But you realize that even last year, these are teams you probably wouldn't have beaten. So it's just a really different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. I still remember Tua's interception, the one that just went over Waddle.
Oh, that was a bad throw.
That was a bad throw.
Yeah.
To be fair, both of them were bad throws.
One of them was a bad decision. One of them was a bad throw. 2 mistakes in the game. Not usually doesn't go.
Wait, Dylan. I don't just in general. Do smart people make like bad decisions usually?
Yeah.
Like a lot, though.
I wouldn't say that's a lot of bad decisions.
I'm not asking you. This isn't a football related question. I'm asking like in general, do they make a lot of bad decisions?
Yeah, everyone makes bad decisions.
No. I'm talking about smart people. Do they make a lot of bad decisions?
Of course.
You're just lying to yourself.
Nah,
Serge,
I consider
Serge,
myself. I consider
Serge.
myself to be smart. I make a lot of bad decisions. I mean, it's
Serge, would you
human
say
nature.
a lot of bad, like smart people make a lot of bad decisions?
Well, I think in life,
You a
everyone's gonna
lot,
make a
like
lot of decisions.
consistent bad decisions. Smart people.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Nah,
not
you're just saying
a
that.
lot, but
Yeah,
you'll probably make
exactly.
one or two
So then,
mistakes.
why are we saying Tua is a smart quarterback?
Because he doesn't make a lot of bad decisions, you stupid son of a bitch.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Serge,
I mean, to
right?
be fair, Dylan, averaging an INT per game, it's like
Yeah,
Dak
just
Prescott. Yeah.
Dak Prescott
And
threw 3 interceptions yesterday. It's a different story, but
Tua through 2.
Dak has had a few games where he's thrown no picks. Tua has been like
so has Tua.
I think they named Tua
Only one.
because he throws generally like 2 picks a game.
It's just statistically not true, but we're gonna brush by this part. This is, you know what? This is
Dude.
an every episode segment. I'm happy to brush by it this time. If you want to keep carrying,
No, I
on,
won't. Dylan, Devon Achan is so fast.
I was telling Surge yesterday.
No.
I
His
think,
touchdown run, he like Xavier McKinney. I was like, how did you like? It was on the sideline,
yeah.
and he just like, I don't understand how he didn't tackle. Like he's so fast.
I was telling Surge yesterday. I think give it 3 more games and I'm ready to compare him to the best running backs in the league, because obviously it's a small sample size, but he's already like statistically been better than CMC rushing yards wise this season.
Okay, it's hard for me to disagree with you there just because he's been good.
Mhm.
But I mean, Dylan, you're still taking Bijan every day of the week if you had the choice.
Give me 3 more games. Give me 3 more games to really assess, and I don't know, because just
that's fair. I
insane.
actually can you can't disagree with it here because he's been fantastic. But I mean, yeah, I guess he's been very good. I can't really argue back here.
I think he's definitely top 10 at this point. The only reason why I'm a bit hesitant to crown him among like the best of the best is just because I think he definitely has it easier than a lot of other running backs when he's running consistently, when other defenses are going to run too high shell, when they're going to when he obviously has Mike McDaniel, who you yourself have said.
Okay, I'm asking you right now:
running
is Mike McDaniel the best offensive coach in the league right now? Yes or no?
No,
I'd say Andy Reid. No, I'd say no. Actually,
So then you can't give all the credit on every position of
no.
the
That's
field.
what I'm saying. I mean,
Mike
he's still a top 10 running back. But I think in terms of I think in terms of running schemes, he's probably the best, I'd say, at that element.
Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. Yeah, I'm gonna ask: are Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill the best receiver duo in the league? Yes or no? Yeah. So you said no to Mike McDaniel and no to Tyreek Hill and Waddle. And is the Dolphins' running game the best in the league, Kian?
No, I don't. Here's Dylan. I'm trying to think of receivers. I would say you could say the Eagles. They're there. Yeah. Okay. I'll say yes. Receiving,
okay.
Yes. But Waddle hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's not me saying, even if I say no, I still think they're fantastic, but I'll give you their run game. No, I don't think but I don't.
So personally, I need
top 5.
I need a little bit more time with the running game because it's only been a few games with HN and Mostert playing together. But it's a no to McDaniel. It's a no. It is a yes to the receiving course. So I'll give you that. And then a no to the running game. And then the offense is the best in the league. So there's just, it's really good from everything. It's maybe second in the league, third in the league. And then you have a top 10 quarterback that just tops everything off. So it's a great offense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm compromising right now. I was gonna say top 5. I think top 5, but I'm compromising and saying top 10 right now.
I'm gonna let it slide. Top 10's not insane.
Top 10 is like so easily true.
I don't think it is, but I don't think it's insanity. Just because that's definitely like people just probably think that now. Like
I'm compromising.
I'd say he's comfortably top 10, but I don't think he's like elite like some people are saying.
We're not going to do this again. So, yeah.
This is a more tame episode. Serge, let's talk about your team, man. What a win for the New York Jets. As a Giants fan.
Quit glazing them. They beat the Broncos.
No,
it's the Broncos,
you guys
and
beat
they
the Broncos
barely
too.
won.
You guys beat the
Yeah,
Broncos.
Dylan, you beat the Broncos, and then you said Tua is going to be Tom Brady. So let's not.
They won by 50. The Jets won because the Broncos couldn't get something done on their game-winning drive.
Because the Broncos apparently were great against the Dolphins and they didn't make any
There's a difference
mistakes.
between winning by 11 points and scoring 70. Why are we acting like this is the
Okay,
same
and there's a
thing?
difference between losing by 28 to the Bills and winning by 6.
There's a difference between 4-1
Damn.
and 2. What are you? 4-1 and
3
2
and
and 3.
2. 3 and 2.
Jets are 2 and 3.
Oh, 2 and
There's
3.
a difference between okay. You know, let's just drop it.
You're not going to win this argument if you're trying to play team ball. So yeah.
Well, to be fair, when you lose your Hall of Fame quarterback, top 5 in the league.
You know what they say? You know what they say? Sucks to suck. But
see, he has no argument. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, it does suck. I'm not going to argue. I've had some bad years as a Dolphins fan, and you know what? You've definitely had a lot of bad years as a Jets fan. So
Serge has not had a good year as a Jets fan yet.
No. He's able to justify bad years and make them into good years. Like, you know what? If we had this guy healthy the whole year,
I mean, okay. Well, you can't say you absolutely can justify Aaron Rodgers getting hurt.
As far as I'm concerned, Aaron Rodgers, he had 0 passing yards for the Jets this season. So
he also had 0 passing attempts.
If he had released the ball earlier instead of holding on to it, maybe he would.
And if
I'll put this rhetoric to
didn't release the ball early every single play, maybe he wouldn't throw an interception.
But I mean, I'll take my quarterback over yours every day. So
I think Zach Wilson's better.
Okay,
honestly, based on the past few games, he's not that far off.
Nah, that's
okay. Let's stop. Let's
put the rhetoric to the side, though.
Zach Wilson had a great game.
I wouldn't say great.
Okay, he did have a great game. Never mind. He didn't have a great game.
I think
Breece Hall though.
Breece Hall's so good.
Yeah, Breece Hall is so good. And I was literally going into this game, I was just scarred that he was gonna get, like, after last year, the catastrophe with him tearing his ACL. I was so scared, but he played so good. Dude,
imagine how good he would be if he didn't tear his ACL.
Bro, I'm like
imagine his stats.
Actually, don't bring that. And speaking of terrible injuries, AVT again out for the year, again playing.
What?
It was supposed to be just a calf strain, but he tore his Achilles because Denver is just a cursed field.
And he tore his Achilles? I didn't even know that.
I will say I think the offensive line is better than last year, better shape to deal with his injury because I think Joe Tippmann has been that good.
Yeah, Tippmann's been good.
Okay, so I've heard everyone say that Tippmann's been good, but every time I've watched, and I'm not going to say I've done a deep dive on him, but every time I've watched him with a snap or with whatever he's doing, I've always seen him make a mistake. I think it's just like weird coincidence, but I've actually not thought he's been
Serge,
good.
Wisconsin.
I will say, he actually didn't have a good pass blocking game today, but watch him on the Breece Hall touchdown.
I know I'm wrong. It's just something I've really
Wisconsin alum, right?
Mm-hmm. Wisconsin alum.
No wonder he's good, man. We actually suck at football, though. That's neither here nor there.
Oh, wow. You suck at football.
Well, I mean, nothing compares to the great UMass.
I did the kicking challenge at UMass. After the first drive, I kicked an extra point. I scored. So
Damn,
I have a video. I can send it.
Yeah, send that to us. Yeah, we'll put that on the
videos. You know, Kian, I mean, Michigan, Wisconsin, we might meet in the.
Yeah, we're playing you next year or 2 years.
Yeah, no, but we might meet this year if you guys win the.
We're terrible. We're actually terrible.
All I've got to say is
Cameron Carson division is terrible, though. I mean, if
Cameron Carson missed the field goal late.
If you beat
I'm
Iowa,
here. I'm available.
You'll probably go to the.
We have Iowa and Illinois, so 2 big divisional games.
Iowa's the game that matters. But anyway, not off topic there. But I think going back on the Jets, obviously, I think Breece Hall is him. That's the main takeaway. He is been great. Another player that's been him, who I don't think I've been talking about enough, just because the
Quincy Williams.
Yep, exactly. Quincy Williams,
big force sack,
has been
big force fumble,
unbelievable. Has played an All-Pro level this year. And it's something that I kind of felt like this is the year he could kind of like become an above average linebacker, but I didn't see this coming. He's been so good. I think, funny enough, up till the last drive, this was easily his worst game of the season, because I think this was the one game where he was kind of missing a few tackles, and it was kind of like last year Quincy Williams, where he was kind of just an average linebacker. But then last drive, shows up 2 big sacks, including obviously the forced fumble that wins the game. He's been absolutely massive for the Jets this year. Another player that's been a great player, Bryce Huff. He's been, I think every advanced metric you look at. I've been talking about this with Dylan. This is probably, if you thought my DJ Moore take was hot, this is hot take. I did originally say top 10. I don't think he's top 10. I think he's top 20 in terms of edge rushers in the league.
Yeah,
right
probably.
now.
There's not too many very good edge rushers.
I think there are a lot of good edge
no,
rushers.
No, there are a
He's
lot of
really
good edge rushers. But if you look at every advanced stat, he is top 10 in pressure despite playing like under 40% of the snaps. He is just like, as a pass rusher.
When has pressure's been an advanced stat?
What?
Since when has pressure's been an advanced stat? I feel like it's kind of
not. Well, I mean, other stats are advanced stats.
No. I'm sure.
But in terms of pressures, which is not actually that further emphasizes my point, because last year he was always leading the advanced stats, but this year he's kind of, even in the counting stats, despite how little he's playing, well, compared to the other guys at least, he's still up there among the best, top 10 in pressures. He's definitely on a per snap basis. I think he leads the league in pressures per snap. He's been huge for the Jets this year, and that's why he's getting a much higher workload now, considering that he's also been better against the run. And obviously, only surprised me that this was his first sack of the season against Denver, because he's been every game. If you watch the Jets, you'll see Bryce Huff, and he was huge for us today. And obviously, I think going back on Zach Wilson, had a good game other than the Pat Surtain pick, which was a pretty good play in itself. He was pretty good. He definitely looks, again, like I said, more decisive. He's good at growing into the game. I feel like that's something that's been a common theme with a lot of his games, and I think that was especially true for this game. He was definitely completion percentage. That's been huge for him. I think he's not really missing the gimme throws that he was missing last year, which is huge when you just want you don't need great quarterback play. You just need average quarterback play. And he's been able to provide that the past few games, actually above average, really. But I think if you can just keep this up, keep on stacking, like we talked about with Justin Fields, I think it's going to be huge for the Jets. And it does give them, albeit a faint chance, it gives them a faint chance at making the playoffs.
Dylan, like Bryce Huff had a great game. I think he's going to be JJ Watt.
He's going to be JJ Watt.
He is very good.
No, he's Lawrence Taylor.
Dylan didn't understand my reference there.
I know what you're saying, but I just want to say, should we release the beef era documents? Because right now the beef era surge takes are kind of winning. You're bringing up Bryce Huff, who when you were like, Bryce Huff is a really talented player as an undrafted.
Serge has been talking about Bryce Huff
wherever he was, and I was just like, I was brushing that to the side. I'm like, oh, you got Bryce Huff, I'm gonna shove him out the door. And you're like, you know what? Quincy Williams is showing some really promising signs. Like, Quincy Williams, what? And you know what? I'll give you a little bit of credit. You've seen the vision with these guys. It's a good defense, and that's what won you the game. That being said, you want to make the playoffs, and a win's a win, obviously. You take your wins. You want to make the playoffs, you got to play better than that against Denver.
No, I agree. This team has a problem with starting slow.
And Serge, I think
it's been a big problem.
I think the only thing that this game showed was that your defense is championship level. Actually, no, it didn't. You played the Broncos. Never mind.
It doesn't show. Well,
no, to be fair, the Broncos haven't been that bad offensively this year.
Yeah, that's
Russell
true.
Wilson has been a good quarterback this year.
Russell Wilson did not have a bad game.
I thought he was.
No, he had a bad
I thought he was pretty bad.
I thought
he was pretty bad against Miami. I thought he was pretty good
against. This was his first last year Russ performance, but obviously
I thought he was really bad against Miami too. I didn't think he was good at all against Miami, but
yeah, I mean,
statistically wise, he didn't have a shocking game. But let's move on. Let's talk about, the Cowboys, who I love. I mean, God, we just always predict it. We just always can predict the Cowboys' downfall. I mean, the Niners dismantled them. And before we get into it, this game shows two clear things. One, the Niners are far better coached than the Niners. And two, Brock Purdy is clear of Dak Prescott as a quarterback.
Let's talk about Brock Purdy real quick.
Let's talk about Brock Purdy.
When Brock Purdy came in and won all of his games in the regular season, everyone's like, okay, San Fran's really good. When Brock Purdy went to the playoffs and they lost the playoff game, it was, Brock Purdy is okay, but they need to replace him if they want to win the Super Bowl because obviously they haven't won a Super Bowl.
I mean, I don't think that was a narrative because he was.
No, but they haven't won a Super Bowl with a replacement level quarterback. So that's what it was. Jimmy G needed to go. You need to get rid of Brock Purdy, let Trey Lance take the reins. Obviously, Trey Lance did not pan out. Guess who predicted it? I actually got a draft take right for once. But Brock Purdy, since he has come in the league, has been a top 10 quarterback from day one. And it's starting to come into fruition where people are putting him at 10, 11, 12. I have him at 7, 8, 9. But Brock Purdy has not made a mistake yet. He's made bad throws, but he hasn't lost he hasn't lost a regular season game. He hasn't lost San Fran a game yet. And Jimmy G.
But are wins a QB stat for you, would you say?
Always.
Yeah, Dylan's been an avid supporter of that key. I completely agree. I think people who say they're not are just. I think the only exception was Deshaun Watson.
It wasn't an exception for me, but
in that 4-12 season, it was pretty bizarre.
But Jimmy Garoppolo is like everyone says. Jimmy Garoppolo is the perfect replacement level quarterback. Jared Goff, perfect replacement level quarterback. I think Brock Purdy is a step up from that, which means he's not replacement level. I think Brock Purdy, and I'm not going to say he's not a game manager because he's managing with a great offense and he's doing a good job at it. And sure, if the circumstances weren't as easy, I'm sure it wouldn't pan out as well. But a good game manager is almost better than a volatile missile thrower in my eyes, because you know what you're going to get, and that's winning football. And let me
just remind you though that Baker Mayfield is a renowned game manager.
But I disagree with that though. I think Baker is more of a gunslinger than a game manager. He's just turned into a game manager because he can't win with gunslinging. But Brock Purdy, I'm not going to say he's a gunslinger. Obviously not. It's not his style, but he is pretty damn perfect at what he does. So in a way, that's almost better than having a player that's going to make a mistake here and he's not going to make a mistake here. Like,
look, you're lying to yourself if you say that Brock Purdy is not a huge benefactor of the system around him. Because he is. And we know that. And the defense is fantastic. I keep saying defense. The defense is fantastic. Their offense is amazing. The options there are endless if no one gets injured. He is not he doesn't make a mistake. And I will, and as we go into the Cowboys, I'm convincingly taking him over Dak Prescott at this point. I think you put Purdy on the Cowboys and they're a lot better. I mean, the Cowboys to me, I mean, it's actually the same thing every year. Like it's like those movies where they wake up in the same day every year. Like it's exactly like, it's amazing start. This team is a Super Bowl winning team. And then it's like, what happened? And they just go on streaks of just like being horrible. And this is like, they lost, it was what, 42-12?
10
or to 10. All right.
Far
Sorry.
in a way, Dak Prescott's the most confusing player in the NFL to me, because I've never really,
I don't get it. Like,
I've never really had an opinion on him. I've always had him just like, you know what? He's might be top 10, just outside top 10, but next week he's going to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. And it's going to be like, all
right.
right.
And people are going to be like, you know what? The Cowboys are that team. Next week, maybe he'll do it again. Maybe he'll do it twice. And then after that, it'll be another stinker. And the stinker comes in the playoffs. So you're just not going to win with him. And
I actually disagree. I don't think the stinker usually comes in the playoffs. I just think he's not a winner in the playoffs. Like, he doesn't help the team win. He's not a guy who can go into a playoff game and be the impetus behind a win. So, I mean, I
like that impetus behind a win. That's good.
What I will say is I think that kind of also, my opinion, although I think obviously Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy have shown that they're very different quarterbacks. I think that's the only thing that
I actually don't think they are, Serge. I actually don't think they are. Dak Prescott's not a mobile guy that much anymore. I think Purdy is almost more mobile than Dak.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. But what I mean by they're different is that obviously I feel like I mean, like, they're different. Like, Purdy obviously like is a lot more conservative, plays a lot more within system than Dak, I would say.
Within system, yeah, but conservative, no. That system requires him to take risks, and he does it well. He reads the defense really well, and he's very much capable of winning a game on his own.
See that in the regular season, yes, but this is the one reason why I am the only reason why I still think Philly are the favorites in the
Yeah.
NFC. A lot of people are saying
No, San Fran's the favorites in the AFC.
I think
I feel
San
like that's
Francisco
not
have
arguable at this
easily
point.
been the best team in the NFL to this point. But when you talk about in the playoffs, and obviously how I know Dylan, obviously he has his style with guys like Tua and Purdy who will play kind of within system and aren't as erratic as some of the like the gunslingers who will win you games that also will like they'll live
But if
by
you're
the
making the
die
argument
by
for
the sword.
Philly, can't you make the argument that Jalen Hurts is also an in-system quarterback?
No.
I agree with no. I do see that, but at the
Yeah.
same time, Jalen Hurts proved in the Super Bowl, in the NFC Championship, that he is more than capable of winning a game by himself.
And
Yeah,
also,
but
And
I
Brock
think
Purdy, and no, I agree, and I think that combined with Jalen Hurts being an exceptional running quarterback, an exceptional deep ball throwing quarterback. I understand he also is the beneficiary of a great system as well, but I just think his physical tools, and again, combined with you need someone who's a winner in the playoffs. And I know that sounds basic and very cliche, but Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, is the definition of a winner, and that's why he literally was amazing and had
well,
one
let's
of
look
the
through
best
their
games
playoff
in the
wins. Let's
Super
look
Bowl.
through their playoff wins because he's had 2 playoff wins against the Giants, who were never in their league, and against the San Francisco 49ers, who had Josh Johnson in at quarterback.
I'm more referring to the Super Bowl, though, and I think they would have won.
They didn't
both
win. How is he a winner if the 2 wins were against teams that were not in their stratosphere, and then they lose?
Because he played literally none
Of
of
course,
it.
he played well, yeah, but
No,
like,
but not just that he played well. He played exceptionally well. He played one of his best games in the Super Bowl. And
I
even
think
though
Jalen
obviously
Hurts
the
can.
Giants were not even close to the Eagles level, and the Niners weren't obviously also were completely handicapped. He still played well in both of those games and won the game, like you said, which I think proves that he's definitely
Dylan, do you not think Jalen Hurts can take over a game?
no, I think he can, but I also think that Purdy can. So I'm
no,
saying
not the same level.
I'm saying it's kind of the same
Dylan,
ballpark.
you know Purdy
No.
can. You know Purdy
No,
can.
I disagree. I think he can.
But I think the problem is when
I
you
don't
have
think so.
when
I'm
when
not
you
saying he
have
won't
these
be able
system
to, but I
quarterbacks
haven't
that are a
seen him.
lot more safe, that love to play within system, that love to play within schedule, that aren't accustomed to playing a lot from behind, that when you put them in a situation where all of a sudden the Eagles, who are a very good team and are very capable of taking like a 2-score lead on San Francisco, do so.
Are they though?
What?
Are they capable of taking a 2-score lead? Is anyone capable of taking
This
a
is
2-score
literally
lead
a team
on
that
Kansas?
went to the Super Bowl last year and went 14-3. They are absolutely capable of taking.
Okay, but I find it unlikely that San Francisco falls down 2 scores in any scenario this season. They're my Super Bowl winners right now. I mean, they don't make mistakes. It's a clear-cut offense planned perfectly, and then the defense is better. It's just like.
But see, that's what you see with a lot. I think that was the same thing that you kind of said with Miami. But then when in those times where sometimes you can get them off schedule, and I know it's a rarity, but in that occasional
How do you
situation where you play a team that's
take
on
the
a
middle of the
similar
field
level,
away from Miami? You take the middle of the field away from Miami, and you have a problem because Tua plays his game in the game plan, right? Purdy, I wouldn't even say plays his game in the game plan. I would say he's more off schedule than the likes of a Tua or an even like.
Yeah,
actually, I do. No,
I
do
agree. But here's what I'll say. I think the 49ers are obviously one of the favorites, but I think Purdy doesn't have the playoff resume yet, and that being said, I think he can. But to say
he
that
played one full playoff game and he blew the opponent out.
No, they didn't. They barely beat the Rams.
Oh no! You're right. They beat the Seahawks, and he played a really good game. But they barely.
Oh no, the Rams was the year before, right?
Yeah. No, they beat the Seahawks. Oh, that actually wasn't a great game from Purdy.
I thought Purdy was phenomenal in that game. Seahawks game, yeah.
No, the first half he definitely seemed very kind of flustered which makes sense, which he was obviously. In the second half, they kind of pulled away because
second half he was
very clear. But that was because I think that was more because the Niners were a very clear, better roster than the Seahawks. I think that was everyone's takeaway that the Niners roster kind of.
But it's been everyone's takeaway for years that blank makes the quarterback good, and
I do think Purdy is good. I just think that I think there's a significant level difference between him and Jalen Hurts. And I think the rosters aren't. I agree that right now San Francisco has a better roster than Philly, but it's really not not enough of a difference.
No,
To,
I'll say that Hurts is better than Purdy, but I don't think that offsets how much better the Niners are than Philly.
No,
yeah.
Because no.
I think I understand that Philly have kind of walk to the early part of the season, but the fact that they're undefeated and they haven't even played close to their best.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't saying. They have not played close to their best, and I think you both have a point. Like, look, what like at the end of the day, we can all agree that if Philly plays San Francisco, it won't be a blowout on the either side. Like it will be a very close game, and I kind of agree. I agree with Surge in the fact that yes, Hurts is a better quarterback, and yes, he can take over games. And I know, Dylan, you think Purdy can also, but I don't know how to explain this like how it makes sense, but I don't think that offsets to a point where Purdy can't go and win it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's like just because Hurts is the proven guy that can take over games, San Fran are that much of a leg down.
Can I know this is about the Eagles and the Niners, but can I bring up one more team in this discussion? I think, Dylan, you know who I'm going to say.
I actually don't. Let's hear it.
The Lions.
Low
key. I know everyone's been talking about the Eagles and the Niners, but the Lions are one of those teams that I feel like could actually match those teams in the trenches. Way that Dallas can.
No. So
elite,
I like the team.
Elite
I like
offensive line.
I like the
and
team.
Their defense. I know their defense line. They don't have a lot of pieces besides Hutchinson, but Hutchinson right now probably is the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year.
Other than Micah.
Hutchinson?
Hutchinson's been leading.
I know he had that
up there in sacks.
That interception was insane.
Oh yeah, and
that interception was nuts.
Too. I think right now he's probably the favorite. I would say right now he'd probably be the pick.
I'm picking Micah.
I think it'll be Micah, but I think Hutchinson right now is leading the pack right now.
Damn,
he's definitely right now one of the best defensive players in the league. So
I guess I just have not been paying attention.
With an elite offensive line, they have good weapons. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Sam Laporta has been a great tight end.
Sam Laporta has been so good.
Laporta
has been so good.
I'm so annoyed because in our fantasy draft, I was about to take him, but I ran out of time and auto drafted Chigakonkwo.
Oh,
that annoyed me. Although I had Kittle, so it wasn't that big a deal. But either way,
did you see how the Lions and the Niners had the exact same play to both Iowa tight ends?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So where I think the difference comes between San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Detroit is I think the leg down is the secondary for Detroit. They lost Emmanuel Mosley.
That hurts. I agree.
Dude, that Emmanuel Mosley thing is the saddest thing I've ever
know.
Seen. Mm-hmm.
What are I just don't understand. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like especially this year, the injuries have been so much more severe and rampant. Like there have been so many.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the chances of tearing your other ACL the first game back from tearing your other one is insane to me.
Mm-hmm. What I will say, though, about the line secondary is, although I do agree losing Emmanuel Mosley hurts, they still were pretty good without him.
Even with Emmanuel Mosley, I think the secondary is a solid step down. From
it is.
It is. No. I do agree with that.
Brian Branch though has been fantastic. Brian Branch, fantastic.
And then when you're talking straight offensive weapons, offensive weapons, I love Laporta. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, but that's two players. David Montgomery is going to come and go though. I don't think.
I mean, Jameson Williams should theoretically be.
I think
that is where they could get the leg up. Jameson Williams, if that works how they think it's going to work, that could be really good for Surge's case. But now I can't.
And Jahmyr Gibbs, who I know hasn't been getting a lot of touches right now, but I think
that comes and goes. I don't think he's not enough of a benefactor.
But it's a backfield with depth, so they can risk an injury here and there. So that's, I think, what the difference is. And I think that's kind of where you see with all of these
teams.
To
mention, in terms of coaching, I think they're also up there with Ben Johnson being one of the best offensive minds.
When is that guy going to get a head coaching job?
He was going to get it last year. He just decided to stay with Detroit because, I mean, obviously they have something special.
He decided to stay with the church, right, Dylan?
Yeah.
When did the Church of Football become?
You know what?
That was year one, Dan Campbell, after the knee biting quote.
No, now I'll give Dylan his props. He was always, I think everyone was thinking with the Dan Campbell like initial press conference, we were all like turned off by it. It was like,
you're just glazing, Serge.
What?
You guys were just glazing each other.
I mean, what? I mean, I'm just giving props. I mean,
Game is
not
game.
everything's believable. That's crazy. But either way, no, he was on. I don't know. Did you actually believe in Dan Campbell or you just loved him too?
Fully.
Think of Dylan as a person and then think of Dan Campbell. No wonder he supports Dan Campbell.
Like, how
Dylan
can you
and Dan
not?
Campbell are probably related.
He wishes.
Like, I really wouldn't be surprised. Like, what?
He
Like,
does wish.
you guys may be very surprised. Dylan's a very tall man.
Why is that surprising?
I don't know. Just a lot of my friends though, when they saw you, they're like, "Oh, he's tall." Like I wasn't expecting.
That's so true. No,
Yeah.
that bothered me because I walk up to them. There goes the lights. But I walk up to them and they're like, "Whoa, you're big." I'm like, "Why do the lights keep turning off?" Oh, you're big. I'm like, why are you surprised? Like,
To be fair, you
what
are like
made you
you're
what
like
made you think I'm short in the first place?
to be
I don't
fair,
know.
like you're really tall though, to be fair.
Yeah,
Like,
like, you're very tall.
you're
Hey,
like
I'm
Yeah,
tall
yeah.
also. Yo, let me plug myself. I'm tall.
Yeah, Keaton's tall.
I'm the same. Dylan's
Sir,
Dylan,
are you
like a little
tall?
taller than
I'm not tall. I'm like
me. Sir, you're not short though.
no.
Yeah.
What are you,
I'd like
5'9",
to think.
5'10"?
5'10", 5'11".
Yeah,
I'd
so
like-
that's like
I
above
don't know.
average.
If you're not 6'3", I feel like you're kind of short.
Yeah,
personally.
I know, honestly. I've been saying,
Ankly,
put me
man.
put me up 10 routes against like a very good corner. I'm getting at least 3 catches.
I don't know about that.
Yes,
I don't know
I
about
am.
that.
My route running is so good.
Are we having another Devin Singletary moment here?
No, another DeAndre Hopkins. Like I could cover him. I still believe that if you gave me 15 routes against Hopkins, he's not catching everyone. But not like just
you
like
should clip that and put it in one.
Okay.
Of, one of the
Sure.
Instagram clips and
You
see
have
what
15 routes against Hopkins, but who's the quarterback? Is it Tannehill or is
no,
it
it's
like
someone
one
who
of
can
us?
make throws. Like it's someone who's making like
Is
it's
it like one of us?
I guess it's not a NFL quarterback. It's not one of you. It's like a quarterback who can get the ball in the right place. But like,
is it like an XFL quarterback, a college
Sure,
quarterback?
I don't know.
We're playing high school varsity
doesn't play
starter.
quarterback?
Like,
yeah, like I don't know.
I'm gonna get this together. I'm gonna DM DeAndre Hopkins. I'm gonna DM Nyack High School quarterback Michael Fowler, and we're gonna bring this together. It's gonna be you on defense, D Hop, and Nyack quarterback. I'm clipping this. This is going viral, and this is happening.
And I'm not gonna lie. I think if we covered D Hop together, he'd still get every catch.
I think if all three of us covered D Hop, it would be.
Let me give my case. Me and D Hop are the same height.
Okay.
I am
but he
not.
plays in the NFL.
Yeah, but let me present my case. We're the
Is
same
this
height.
just D Hop or is this other
Just
NFL
D-Hop.
receivers?
Stop.
Just D-Hop.
Just D-Hop. We're the same height. I think I can. Okay, route wise, like I might get destroyed. Like probably I will. But if you give me like stride for stride with him, a one-on-one jump ball against the best jump ball receiver that like the NFL may have ever seen,
Bro, you're
I
laughing. You don't
still
even
think
believe it.
that I'm giving him like a
So-
tough coverage.
Is this all jump balls or are we playing different routes here?
I don't know. You guys are asking too many questions. Like, no, they're not
Because
slants.
we
Like, they're
want
not
to work this out
slants.
logistically. We want to work this out because we're going to try to make this happen.
This is not happening.
This is not
How do you know?
That'd be
How are we
insane.
even
Never
gonna
know.
do this?
You
We're not
never
playing all in
know.
different places.
Come, I don't know if they play the Giants. Let me know. I'll come to the
We
game.
don't live in New York anymore.
Oh yeah, God damn it. If you're ever in Wisconsin, if you ever play the Packers, let me know. I'll come to the game. We'll do some routes on the. You can bring me on the field, and we'll do routes. And like
I
you'll,
love you're
you
just
know.
casually inviting DeAndre Hopkins. Yo,
You're inviting yourself to DeAndre Hopkins' away game.
All right, let's do some week 6 picks to end out the episode.
You
Gentlemen.
know what? We didn't have trivia right here. Let's have a little bit of an explanation. Not too much, but a little bit of an explanation on the games.
Let's okay, like a little, but let's
Very
try and keep it quick. For the ones that you don't need an explanation on, like this game, I'm about to say don't, but for the closer games we can.
Yeah.
All right, Broncos, Chiefs. We'll go Dylan, Surge, me.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs. No,
Yeah,
no.
Chiefs. This is gonna be embarrassing. Ravens, Titans.
Ravens.
I'm gonna say Ravens too.
Yeah, I think Ravens as well. Although the Titans gave the Colts a good game. Panthers, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah, it's an easy one.
Yeah, Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dolphins as well. Saints, Texans.
Ooh.
Texans.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that
gonna
one.
say Texans too.
I love the
Close enough.
Texans pick. I think they got an
No
unfortunate
explanations
loss.
yet, and all sweeps so
Yeah.
far.
Mhm.
Commanders, Falcons.
I'm going to say Falcons, and I think it's going to be a closer game. I mean, Howell had a bad game in this week on Thursday Night Football, and you just lost to the Bears, so it's really hard for me to predict anything going in the Commanders' favor, but I think the Falcons have a lot going for them offensively. Arthur Smith is a terrible offensive coach, but other than that, I think they're good.
Yeah, Falcons. I think Falcons offensive line, Falcons in the trenches in general, I think are going to dominate. I think that's how they're going to win a lot of these ugly games. But yeah, give me the Falcons.
I like Commanders actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna go against the grain. Colts Jaguars, great game. Another actually rematch already.
I'm gonna say Colts.
Yep.
Colts can never win Jacksonville. Give me the Jags.
Oh, it's in
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, then that means I switch my lock of the week.
I was about to say.
No,
Elite
I'm
There's
matchup.
nothing
actually
like
gonna
Charlie
switch my pick though.
logic.
I am actually gonna switch my pick though. I'm gonna say Jacksonville.
I think I love this matchup. Jaguars just came off a huge win against Buffalo, so I'm gonna go Jaguars as well. Seahawks Bengals.
Seahawks.
I'm going to go Seahawks as well.
I like Bengals. They just had a big. I mean, against Arizona, but obviously Jamar. Chase
No,
had
a win's a
monster
win.
game.
That was a good game for them.
Vikings Bears, the worst game of the week.
I don't think it's that
Gotta
bad.
love your Minnesota Vikings winning these games.
Yeah, I think the Bears are kind of going to be a hot pick after they've kind of been okay on offense the past few weeks, but I think the Vikings are going to win this one, even without Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna go Bears 2 in a row for Chicago.
Yikes.
49ers Browns. We know this.
Niners are insane.
Yeah, Niners. Patriots Raiders. This might be the worst game of the week.
Why is this on Sunday night?
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh,
it's
it's not?
worse. It's Giants
Oh.
and Bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. I'm gonna say Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders.
Go Raiders as well.
Josh
Lions.
McDaniels against
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
Lions Buccaneers. Watch a trap game here. Watch out for a trap game here.
I see it. I'm gonna look past it. I'm gonna say Lions.
I agree.
I'm gonna
Very,
look past it also, but if that ends up coming to fruition, at least I said that it might happen. I'm gonna go Lions.
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
that makes sense as a trap game.
Cardinals Browns. Or not
Can you say
Browns,
Rams?
Rams. Excuse me.
Oh, Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rams.
I'm gonna go Rams. I told you the Nakua Cup thing was gonna work. It worked.
Yeah.
Eagles, Jets.
Eagles.
Eagles, unfortunately.
I think
L.
the Jets have proven they can stay with big teams. But this might not be. I'm gonna go Eagles. Giants,
Eagles.
Bills. Just get it over with.
Bills.
Bills.
Giants. Taking Bills. Cowboys, Chargers. It's actually I'm like the Cowboys Chargers games are always.
Why
good
do they keep getting prime time?
I mean,
Every
they are a
week.
playoff team. They are a
Every
playoff
week.
team.
Chargers?
Nah, this is the classic Cowboys
Yeah.
bounce back
But it's
game.
prime time, and they
This is-
suck
this
in
is-
prime
The
time.
This is
Cowboys
gonna-
win on primetime. They just never beat the Niners. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
This is gonna be like a 70-point each game.
Oh no,
uh,
actually no, it's Herbert on prime time. I'm going Dallas.
I'm gonna go Dallas as well. And that'll wrap up the picks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you are on YouTube. If you are listening to us on Spotify, give us a review. Subscribe to us on Spotify. Keaton McDermott, Dylan Shalom, and Suraj Kadali will be back with you guys maybe later this week with a soccer episode, which we do every we try and do those. We did one last week, so make sure to check that out if you did not. But if we are not, we will be back at you guys next Tuesday with our week 6 recap. We hope you guys all did enjoy this episode very much. Felt like a pretty long episode, so there's a lot of stuff for you guys in here. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok for clips of the show. We will see you next time. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Peace out.